I have reviews I'm working on for Wastelander and others, but I have to stop those for a second. I really need to talk about this. The lobby balancing and connection stability has been really bad. I think it needs help, and it needs help quickly. I can't be the only one that sees this or thinks this, but I could be. I don't think that's the case, and as I go through this, please comment your experience. And don't confuse lobby balancing with skill-based matchmaking. Don't get that twisted. I'll talk about that briefly later, but what we have right now needs some help before any of that is ever considered. It's bad enough that I hope Bungie has seen it, can do work on it, and I have a really good example in this video that ties it all together. First thing, connection stability. I am a firm believer, above all else, that the game needs to run properly. I don't care what you do to the matchmaking. I don't care what parameters are set. As long as the game runs properly, I don't care how it got there. Making the game run smooth on everyone's end. And remember this statement because I'm going to come back to it. When it comes to feedback, the most important thing is the why. Why as a player does it affect you? Why does it make you feel this way? And I'm not here to give any type of suggestion. I'm here as a player to talk about what my games are like. Ever since crossplay was introduced, which I love by the way, I love it, it's here to stay, but ever since that came through, I've seen major stability issues with connection. I play on Xbox, meaning I do crossplay with Stadia. PlayStation, Steam is its own ecosystem. Console players are only brought in there when teamed up, just like how there's no PC players in my lobby unless I join a PC player. I've noticed this for months, and I decided to make this video a day or so ago, and I have some examples. Over the past day or so, I recorded these clips because I felt they were a little bit too much. And there's no really need to show clip after clip after clip. This is one of those things that if you know, you know. If it's been similar for you, you're gonna understand. There's no need to just keep going and going. But if you don't, you're just gonna have to believe me that I've had a lot of games that are similar to this. So let me know if you've seen something similar. I brought up crossplay because that's a timeline that I noticed. PC players, I would actually think that you don't see this too much because those lobbies are mostly PC players. Again, let me know. And it might be a coincidence, it just might be, but I always check these players and it feels like 90% of the time they're PlayStation. It's not their fault. Again, maybe a coincidence. I play on Xbox. This is frustrating though, man. And you know what? There's a real possibility that these players, their games are running fine on their end. They might have no idea that it's like this for me. And who knows, maybe I'm acting like this for them. All I know is that the overall stability of connection has been off. It's getting frequent and I hope that it's been brought up. I hope it gets some attention soon. And my internet, like if NASA randomly stopped by my house with an urgent matter, needed to use my internet to make contact, I have well over a gig upload and download. It would be fine. I have great internet. But with great internet, you need to remember, with games like this, it doesn't matter what your internet is. The only thing that matters is your internet matching to another player's internet. So I hope that some sort of stability is coming soon. Next, lobby balancing. I'm not sure how Bungie balances lobbies or if they do, what parameters are set, but I've seen on Twitter, seen with my own eyes, that the balancing of the lobby right now feels like the Wild West. It's nonsensical sometimes. All of you viewing and listening right now, this is something you should pay attention to because it involves you as well. Here's a perfect example of what I mean by lobby balancing. I checked the roster. We have a 4-stack and a 2-stack. The first flag for me is that why are they together? Why did we create a 4-stack with communication, a 2-stack with communication on the same team, then pair them against 6 random players with no communication? Then it gets a little bit better. As I get out of the menu, we have a season rank. We're late in the season. I see a season rank of 6, 22, and 28. This is what I mean by lobby balancing. Balancing the actual lobby. I don't know if it's a schoolyard system, a snake system, like top elo players are going to be matched with the bottom, the second with the second bottom, and so on. Kind of put it together in such a way that it evens out. But pairing stacked teams with each other versus random 6 players, then half of those players on the 6 random team are fairly new, one to level 6. And by the way, big surprise, we lost. A lot of games feel like this. It feels like they're already over before they start. It's an uphill battle all the way, and maybe skill-based was balanced there in their eyes. Maybe their definition of a balanced lobby was met, but it sure didn't feel that way. And oh yeah, this happened in this game. And again, maybe a coincidence, this was a PlayStation player here. They cross-played in. When it comes to lobby balancing, again, separate from skill-based matchmaking, and in my opinion here, it is not doing things like this for a balanced lobby, because what I see are the stacks trying to make these teams a little bit more even, a little bit more balanced. It's two things that go hand in hand in my experience, and I hope it doesn't continue too much longer past the Witch Queen launch, because hopefully we're gonna have some new players with this expansion. It's always a good thing, and that's why this is important. Kind of like dares. New lights were thrown in dares, and players went in to save them. Those players don't have champion mods, they're stuck in there, and I've done some reading, and you have to think, those players don't even know how to play out their ghost and go to orbit to get out of there. They're kind of put in a situation that's an uphill battle for reasons unknown, and that can't happen in the Crucible either. And in this game, I should have checked them. Maybe that level 6 was a fresh account. And I have seen players in my lobbies that are full blue gear just starting out. And you have to think for a second. Everyone starts somewhere. And for the PvP list to keep thriving and growing, first impressions are always going to be huge. Say you do start this game, or think back in time when you did. You got a nice blue scout rifle, auto rifle that you like. There's a quest to go play some PvP. You go in there and you get Lorentz drivered over and over, then Dead Man's tailed over and over. And now that player has 3 options. Number 1, they're gonna keep at it, get through the quest. Number 2, they could get excited about the weapons. Say, oh wow, that Dead Man, it's crazy. I wanna get that. Then they go grind it out. Or 3, it leaves a very bad taste in their mouth. It's no fault to their own. They got put in a position they shouldn't have been in. It has nothing to do with getting good. The game needs those players, and they should kind of grow up together in those beginning stages before they're unleashed to the rest of the game. That kind of leads into skill-based matchmaking a little bit, and skill-based matchmaking is like the boogeyman. No one wants to talk about it, but here's how I see it. The only type of skill-based matchmaking that I'm against is strict skill-based matchmaking. It's a tale as old as time. It always has this outcome with any game that I play, especially Destiny. If the skill-based is strict, it widens the parameters, meaning it's trying to find a good skill-based game, matching my ELO with your ELO. And Destiny's had its fair share of times where skill-based was light, it was very harsh. It's something that I've seen that they're continually working on. But back in D1, I was a top 50 Rumble player. Skill-based was very strict back then. I started playing the same players over and over, enough so that we started to message each other. And for the most part, it was great conversations. And I kept playing with this one guy like every day, every other game. And eventually, he said he was from Dubai. Now, I'm in the central United States. That is the kind of thing that happens when a strict skill-based matchmaking is put into play. Because the things that has is the matchmaking is wider, even across the ocean in a peer-to-peer matchmaking game. There's longer wait times for a match. And a side note, it's 100% meta at 100 miles per hour, 100% of the time. You can't play with lower skilled players, and that's the main reason why my wife quit Destiny. All she wanted to do was play some PvP games. We played together, she was put into my lobbies, my skill was matched. She got crushed, she didn't have fun. Therefore, I didn't have fun. It was just a bad experience for everyone. And there's lag, there's a ton of lag. And it's kind of ironic that it's based on skill, but then we start adding in variables like tick rate, ping, overall lag into that equation. It's something I've never quite understood. And that brings up what I said earlier about the game running properly. In most games with this matchmaking system, the game does not run properly when all those variables are put into place. The lag, the teleporting, the double damage, all of it. And that's why I'm against strict skill-based matchmaking. Unless dedicated servers are there one day, that's gonna help, but until that day, I'm heavily against it. But some sort of skill base needs to be there so we don't see these new players with blue gear in lobbies with seasoned veterans. Or on Bungie's end, if they say that this player is primarily a PvE player, they have 1,000 raid clears and they spent like 10 total hours of Crucible over the past year, yeah, they probably shouldn't be thrown in against 3KD players or stacks, because it's going to continually be a miserable experience for them. That track record shows they only go in there for bounties or quest or whatever, and every single time I can almost guarantee it's been miserable for them. I've always thought prioritizing stacks versus stacks is a good thing, and by the way, I rarely run stacked. When I do, I rarely go up against another stack. And all you players that do run 5 or 6 stacks out there, how many times per gaming session do you run up against another 5 or 6 stack? Do you think that if they found a way to match the stacks, a lot of the things as far as a lobby balance would just extrapolate down the line to be a little bit more balanced, to a more perfectly balanced lobby? And to me, all of this kind of goes hand in hand in an overall experience. I very well might be crazy, but I've talked to multiple players that have seen similar things, and that's why I want to hear your thoughts and experience. Like, have you noticed the connection issues? Have you noticed some balancing issues in your games and they feel kind of off? And if so, I really do hope it's a combined effort to make both of these aspects better, because if not, it becomes a weird game of would you rather. Would you rather have a better lobby balanced game where each team, let's say, has one 3KD player, each team has 1.5 KD player, each team has a 2 stack, but sometimes they're going to be teleporting and lagging everywhere? Or would you rather have a seamless connection, but a 4 stack and a 2 stack are going to be teamed together versus 6 random people, and half of that team are below level 20. It's happened so much that I felt like I needed to make a video about it. It needs to be talked about more. If you're new here, remember to hit the subscribe button, and if you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support. Let's talk about this down below. Be nice, be respectful. It could even be as simple and easy as, no, I don't really see that. That's fine too, but let's talk about it. Thank you for watching, and until the next one, I am CoolGuy.